I want you to watch this footage and I want you to ask yourself a question. Does this game need a remaster? Now, if you're anything like me, you're going to say, of course not, which leads us to today's question. Why are we seeing rumors of a remake slash remaster for Horizon Zero Dawn reported by mpfirst.com? Well, we're going to talk about this article and get into it and our thoughts and opinions here. Hey, everybody, I'm Little Bobby, and today we're going to talk about the rumors surrounding a remake of Horizon Zero Dawn for PS5. But before we get into that, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all the news, reviews, and content we make here, and hit that notification bell if you want those notifications sent directly to you for when we post a new video. Leave a like and or a comment or a dislike if you don't like this video. Let us know what we could do better in the comments down below. So we're talking today about Horizon Zero Dawn, and after the remake of The Last of Us Part 1, it looks like Sony might be planning another remake of Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, Horizon Zero Dawn was released in about 2017, if I'm not mistaken. It was the end of February, put it about a week before the release of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'll always remember that because I played the crap out of Breath of the Wild and sat on Horizon Zero Dawn for a couple years, played it a little bit in 2018, but then finally broke down and played the whole thing in 2020 right after the pandemic started. Now, this game is fantastic. If you have yet to play Horizon Zero Dawn, I would 100% recommend it because it is a great game. However, there were always some issues with the original game, namely that the combat in terms of the melee combat was somewhat stiff and very limited, but the archery combat, the ranged combat, and the traps made up for that gameplay. And aside from the animations of the characters when they're speaking to each other, which were a little behind the times even in 2017, the game plays great. The voice acting is great. The story is fantastic. The animations for the enemies, the human enemies or the mechanical monstrosities that you have to fight throughout the game are incredible. And the details on the robots are like second to none in almost any game I've ever seen. I love the combat. I've loved this game since I finally finished out and played it. I have been singing its praises ever since. To anyone who will listen, that man, Horizon Zero Dawn is something you don't want to miss. Hit that like button if you want to help me bully the Platinum Chin into playing it finally. But overall, what a great experience. What a great time. I put probably 100 hours into Horizon Zero Dawn. I put about 100 into Horizon Forbidden West to get the Platinum. I'm looking for a New Game Plus in both of them. And I'm also looking forward to any DLC going on into Horizon Forbidden West, which was rumored recently with a tweet by Lance Reddick, which was recently taken down. But here's the thing, if you've never played Horizon Zero Dawn and you have a PS5, I would recommend you go check that out. You can get it right now, literally today, on sale for $9.99. It is a PlayStation Classic, which means it's never higher than $20. It comes for free on the PlayStation Essential tier, so you can get it there. And a couple months back, it even got a 60 FPS patch for PS5 because the PS5 has the power to support that. So you can play this game how it looks basically in the footage that you saw early on in the video. With all that being said, there is nothing that facilitates a remake or remaster even for this game. This game is only a few years old. I feel like PlayStation here is trying to make a quick buck on the fact that they can say, hey, we remade all the animations and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily matter. If the facial animations really bother you that much, then you're just not going to play the game. And I don't think people are going to pay $70. Now, if they come out like they did with Spider-Man and say, hey, if you own Forbidden West, you're going to get this upgraded version of Zero Dawn for free, I think that's a way to sell this remake slash remaster. They did that with Spider-Man a few years back. Did that really need a remake? No, but the remake did add for native 60 frames per second. It also added eventually ray tracing into Spider-Man for PS5, which was cool, but it also came for free when you bought Miles Morales, which was a really fun follow-up to the first Spider-Man. I was totally on board with The Last of Us remake that they released about a month ago. We're supposed to review on that, but here's the thing about that. Aside from accessibility features and some AI improvements, which are like marginal at best, there's not really anything different in the Last of Us Part 1 remake. However, as a super fan, I was okay with paying to have one of my favorite games of all time upscaled to native 60 frames per second, native 4K, and having the textures and lighting and stuff done makes for the prettiest possible experience of a game that I absolutely love. I even bought the special edition because, as far as I remember, there wasn't any special edition of the original version So I got that, and I was never able to get The Last of Us 2 Special Edition. So I got the Special Edition of The Last of Us 1, and to me, that was worth it. Here, we have a game that's already been made. It was made with PS4 Pro in mind, and then it got an upscale 60 FPS for PS5, and I don't think there needs to be anything done to this game. They don't need to waste time and resources, especially when Guerrilla is supposed to be working on a VR title for PSVR 2, and we know we have that DLC for Horizon Forbidden West coming. I don't think there's any reason for them to put out a remaster. Again, if they do it for maybe buying the DLC for Horizon Forbidden West, you get Zero Dawn remaster for free, I could see that, but that still leaves a question of resources on the table. Guerrilla could be working towards doing something new. If you played Horizon Forbidden West, you know that there's a third game in this series coming, and I don't want resources wasted on remastering the first game, which has a perfectly fine version already available for the PS5. I think this is a huge mistake on the part of Sony, and this is one of those things that I'm actually going to call out. Like, I'm okay with most of the stuff that Sony does. I understand the industry was going to shift to $70 games at some point. Sony just happened to be the first to bite the bullet and do it. Now, you see other third-party. Ubisoft said they're going to do it soon. Modern Warfare is already doing it, and I was okay with that. And I was okay with paying for The Last of Us because even the remaster was really starting to show its age. Being made originally for the PS3, there's only so much they could do with those original assets, even upscaling them for when the PS4 came out. But like a late game PS4 title or mid to late game PS4 title being remade and put on a PS5 just to have quote unquote improved lighting, ambient occlusion, and such, overhauled textures and better animations with new character models to match those found in the sequel Horizon Forbidden West. That's from the article. I think that they have a real problem on their hands because people are going to not put up with this. There's two reasons that Sony is doing this. A, they literally have nothing past God of War that they have in mind, like in the chamber, that they know is going to be able to come out soon, which is really problematic considering they have bought a bunch of studios in the last few years and they need stuff to be coming, especially with Xbox picking up or likely to pick up Activision Blizzard pretty soon. So they're going to have all sorts of titles under their belt that they can make exclusive. PlayStation not having that is going to be real problematic, especially if they're just going, hey, let's take our heavy hitters from the PS4 area and just remaster them all. Are they going to remaster God of War 2018 next? Because I'll tell you one thing right now, I would not buy that because God of War on PS5 with the 60 FPS patch is flawless. That game is incredible. And I would say the same thing for Horizon Zero Dawn. There's absolutely zero need for any kind of improvements on it over what's already been done for the PS5 60 FPS 4K patch that's happened. And don't get me wrong, I love Horizon Forbidden West. That was literally the first thing I fully platinumed outside of Astro's Playground on my PS5. I'm not a real big trophy hunter, but I love that game so much that I just ended up getting the platinum trophy by trying to do everything in the game because I loved it so much. But that doesn't mean that we need Horizon Zero Dawn to be remade or remastered. The game is fine as is, and this just really reeks of A, desperation, and B, greed from Sony. And that's not something me, as a huge Sony fanboy, you guys have probably heard, that's not something me that I am okay with. So I can only imagine what the normal everyday consumers got to feel about this. This is not a good look for Sony, and I think they really need to cancel this. Now, one of the other things that was covered in this is that there might be some sort of multiplayer Horizon title coming in the near future, and that's something I could get on board with. If there's like a co-op Horizon game where you can play through a smaller scale story with a friend or multiple friends, and you get all sorts of stuff to collect and hunt and all that, and you can do it with other people and maybe have like faction war, like PvP multiplayer. I think that could be kind of fun, especially in the Horizon world. I could definitely see it as like a base building game, or maybe someone plays like the Aloy, like Nora faction / tribe faction, the good tribes, quote unquote, and the other ones play like the Raiders, the Bandits, those kind of tribes, making a base defense where the good guys have to go in and break up bases, or if you're the bad guys, you have to raid the good bases, things like that. That could be fun, but if they're really planning on remaking Horizon Zero Dawn and just sticking that on, I think that's a mistake. Make that a standalone thing. Make it free to play. Give us good customization options with outfits and face paints and things like that. We can decorate our weapons, upgrade our weapons over time. And I think that's going to be a good spot. But overall, if they're going to really remake a 5-year-old game and charge $70 for it, that is going to be a very, very bad look for Sony. Something that they're already trying to shake with The Last of Us remake, and and this most recent customer service debacle, it really begs the question, what's happening at Sony leadership? The studios are great. Guerilla's great, Naughty Dog is great, Insomniac and Sony Santa Monica, they're all stellar studios, but we also need to remember that the leadership that tries to monetize everything has changed in the last few years, and I think that's really starting to show up now with Jim Ryan being in control. And I think it could be problematic for Sony's PR in the next few years if they keep going down this road. What do you guys think about this Horizon Zero Dawn remake? Let us know down in the comments below, and make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you didn't enjoy this video, leave us a dislike and let us know in the comments what we could do better for next time. Hey, I'm Little Bobby here with 59 Gaming Direct. Thank you so much for watching today, and we hope to see you soon.